So let's get in our time machine. The year is 1993. Bill Clinton is in the White House, and the average price for a gallon of gas, believe it or not, is $1.07.
$1.07?
$1.07.
Okay, that was a long time ago. And in the music world, 3 blockbuster albums could be heard on the radio from bands like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Smashing Pumpkins.
And that music is back this weekend, and it benefits future musicians in our midst. Jeremy and James Pine are here to explain it all.
That was a good time.
It was a good time. It's a good time to grow up.
And great music.
Absolutely. You know, these 3 albums we found changed a lot of musicians in Grand Rapids, and that's kind of how this idea came about. We started about last summer, I think, talking about this. Our friend Derek Lancioni and Josh Stacy had done a Green Day tribute night where they did 3 Green Day bands, and we thought that's a great idea. What bands would we want to do if we were to do the same thing, and what albums would we personally want to do?
Yeah.
And so what we found out is that a lot of musicians were saying the same albums, and we're like, those all came out in 1993. Is that a coincidence? And I don't think we thought of it really in the big picture at the time. But when you think about that, these are 3 follow-up albums from some breakout bands that had put out albums in 1991. And you know, they say, you have your whole life to write your first album, you have 2 years to write your second album. So, I mean, the whole idea of this movement was that they were pulling musicians out of the basement, out of the garage, and putting them in the spotlight. And so could they do it? You know, could they sustain the creativity? And instead of these albums just standing alone, they're classics.
They are. They are. It was really cool how these really changed the whole music scene and what was happening in music. And so you focused on these, and then you have local musicians somehow putting together. What did you come up with okay, how you're going to bring all this music to life?
Yeah, so we really we put a call out to our local musicians that we've been playing with for years here in Grand Rapids. We really put a call out to see who was really interested in these bands. We we had a good idea of who we wanted to do. James and I are in the Smashing Pumpkins band and covering Siamese Dream front to back, but we had Pearl Jam versus Nirvana and Utero, so we put the call out to see what musicians were interested in covering those bands, and then we're able to pull together 12 musicians from 12 different bands, and bands, some really great local bands, Total Blam Blams, Ozenza, Afrozuma, just a really good eclectic set of bands and really talented musicians that got together, put a lot of work into putting these, getting these albums front to back and really relearning them, because a lot of the musicians grew up playing these albums when they were first starting out in bands and playing music.
Wow, well, we have such talent here in West Michigan, and we have so many little ones that aspire to be just like you guys. How is this going to benefit them?
Well, I mean, we were kids when we were listening to this music. The bands that were people like Kurt Cobain and Billy Corgan were listening to Black Sabbath and The Clash and things like that. So, what are the? I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be listening to our music, our original music. They might, but what music are they going to be listening to inspire them? Most of us got our start from playing in band in school, starting in middle school or even younger. Yeah. And that really gave us a step up when we, well, for me personally, I said I want to play Siamese Dream when I was like 14 years old. And
so you're fulfilling your dream by doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all happening tomorrow night at the Pyramid Scheme, which is a really awesome place to go and see a show and hear music and have a great time. And so $10 to go. We've got the information right there, guys. This is really cool. Thanks for doing something different. Really bringing the talents of different musicians together for everybody to enjoy.
Well, the idea of a tribute show isn't necessarily a new idea, but I think putting people in a certain place in time, like this nostalgic idea, 1 year. All the music that's going to be played over the PA is going to be from that year. It was released that year, so
very cool. Fun. Yeah,
so exciting. Good. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to going.
Okay. Hope to see you there.
We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Derek Brandon, and this is the cast of Mickey Madsen, and we're West!
Your all-access pass to everything West Michigan. nothing.